Today I will talk about employee scheduling. It is part of my series of lecture on human resource management. So first of all, definition and objectives. Scheduling actually is a term used in operations management for the last stage of planning before actual production starts. In operations management, scheduling specify when labor, equipment, and materials are needed for production. I will use the term scheduling as a part of human resource management, and that is scheduling of staff or employees in various shifts, especially in a service industry. So it is slightly different from scheduling as a term used in operations management. I will talk about scheduling of the staff in various shifts. So, what are the objectives of scheduling, both in manufacturing and service industry? One is that production or service should meet customers' due date. The other is minimization of overtime, then minimization of idle time, and minimization of cost. There are other objectives for manufacturing industry, including minimization of work in process inventory and maximization of machine utilization. So these are some of the objectives of scheduling. So what are the issues and errors while making schedule? So issues with employee scheduling. Often the person in charge of staff scheduling is dealing with piles of timetables, schedules, availability calendars, and employee requests. Some dedicate whole days or even weeks to develop, publish, and edit employee schedules. Many schedule related problems are there that need attention of managers and staff. So these are some of the issues. What are the prerequisites for a good schedule? The work schedule needs to ensure that each shift is staffed appropriately for each position. So we need to take care of each shift, that is the manpower needed in that shift, and the level of manpower or the position which is required for that particular shift. And work schedule must be completely free from errors. So what are the errors? Some of the errors in employee scheduling include double scheduling an employee. The other is scheduling staff for the wrong position. And the other is under or over scheduling employees. So these are various, so some of the errors which are there in scheduling of employees. So what are the good practices while making schedule? First of all, we need to know our team, or we should have a list of staff, their contact information, their roles or position, their relevant skills and certifications, whether they are part-time or full-time, what are the overtime restrictions, and what are the personality types, that is outgoing, friendly, introvert, etc. So we should have this information, first of all. Then we should create a process for staff availability. That is, we give employee a chance to communicate their preferences of days, of preferences of time off, and working hours to promote a collaborative environment. Then we should make and take out the schedule on time. And then schedule should be easily accessible. And we should plan for worst, or we should have a plan B. We should create an availability chart of other workers who are not on duty and who are available in case of absence of the staff which has been scheduled on duty. Then we should have a backup for backup. Then we should build shift around the star employees first. That is, we allow employees to do some of the work scheduling. For example, we consider scheduling one or two best employees for each shift as a way to start, and then we give other employees access to this incomplete schedule and allow them to fill in when they want to work. So this is the participation of employees in making schedule. Then let employees find their own substitutes in case of his or her absence. So then how to make schedule? So as far as the scheduling as a part of operations management, it has following steps, that is loading, sequencing, and monitoring. Loading is done by using the assignment method of linear programming, and sequencing is done by Johnson's rule. Uh, it is given on internet. Then monitoring is done by Gantt chart. It is one of the charting method. Then today I am talking about employee scheduling, and we can either make a schedule by hit and trial method, or we can make a schedule using linear programming. So I will give one example of linear programming, and linear programming can be used for many complex constraints, that is overtime constraints, or the time off constraints, preferences. We can make use of all those constraints in linear programming to make a schedule. So let us see an example. I have taken this example from this internet site, and I have improved the example. I have filled up some of the gaps which are not there on this site. So if n is the number of days for which the schedule has to be prepared, and m is the number of employees, and level j is the level of each employee, uh, then we make use of pulp package and numpy package. So days are, let us say, it is a month with 31 days, and employees are total 5. And minimum resource constraint is that for each of the 31 days, we need one employee in each shift. And the level of employees are, they are of equal level, of same level. In this example we have taken. Then and then we have the shifts as morning shift, evening shift, and we have only two shifts in this example. And either the person is on morning shift or evening shift, or a person is on weekly off or on leave. And so these are the ranges, and this is a binary situation. So this is the objective function. The objective function is that we add up the employees in the morning shift and evening shift, and we maximize the number of workers which are on duty. So we want to minimize that they are off duty or they are on leave. So this is the maximization problem. Then the first constraint is that each employee should work at most one shift per day. So it is like either the employee should be in either of these situations. He can be in the morning or evening or on leave. Then minimum resource constraints, that is on each day. So day is from 0 to 31. So in each day we should have a pre-specified minimum number of employee, which have already been specified in our problem. Then we have this constraint that each employee should work same shift the next day. This is the ideal situation. And rotating shift for at least 2 weeks. This is another constraint. Then each employee should work at least 5 days per week. And each employee should get 2 consecutive days off. So these are various constraints. And we solve the problem. So status is optimal. And this is the printout of variables. So if we decode this labeling of variables in Excel file, we see that these are our employees. We have total of 5 employees as ID 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I have just tabulated the first 8 days of 31 days, and we can see that the first employee get two consecutive offs on day 5 and 6. Second employee get two consecutive offs on day 6 and 7. And we have constrained that at least one staff should be there in each shift. So on day 5, we have three on off and one each in morning and evening shift. Because the off started from day 4 onwards, and the off should be consecutive. This was our constraint. So this is the optimal situation. So this is all for today. Thank you very much.